I believe passion sometimes is for a season. I don't want to become a legend on radio, no. The day I will announce that I'm done with radio, I know that a lot of people will be shocked. They will say, what day are you? You are good at this. Yes, I am good at it. I just believe that most of those things, do them, document them, and just keep it there. You never can tell. Two things can happen. It's either somebody else stumble on it and want to take advantage of it, and then that will at least come back to you as a form of compensation. Or one day, you yourself will have all it takes to, it could be a change of location.
But most times you see that now you go read news, now you go do this one, now you go do current affairs, you go do lifestyle program, you go do entertainment, and that's one of the main criteria whereby some media houses would want to recruit you and all that. So how do you balance it?
I tell people that if you want to present on radio, you must present in the language in which you think. I don't know how many radio presenters can boast of having the kind of money that content creators have. But if you are in the midst of broadcasters, they'll still tell you that those content guys, those guys don't know what they are doing. Those guys are, those boys, they are not professional the way they handle things. After they're professional, they're Jelaria, So the question is, why will you want to pass through the rough road that can damage your car and is longer? Because that is what media is for you. If it is money you are looking for, there are several other ways you can make money faster and easier than media. I've been in the midst of senior media professionals. The ones that they point to as not professional, they are the ones that are financially successful.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of DUNUM with Deda. Like you know, DUNUM is discover, understand, nurture, utilize, maximize your potential. And this is a podcast where you get to learn the process of it. So if you've not subscribed to this YouTube channel, just go ahead and click the subscribe button and also watch the previous episode. This is the second episode, and I have a guest. Yes, and I'm so excited to introduce this guest to you because when it comes to media practitioner, media consultant, media agbalagba, media, everything that has to do with media, this person is into it. And I know when you talk about media in Ibadan right now, I will not mention his name. Yes, my guest today is Afuda Samuel. Baba Agbalagba.
Your Excellency, sir. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it's so good to have you on this podcast, you know, because there's a lot of things I need to learn from you and all that. All right, so let's get into it and all. So my first question would be: you're a lawyer, you're a trained barrister, you know, and all that, and you are into media. How did that come about? How did you? By the way, you went to the best university.
Yes, you can say that. You can say that again. The first and the best. The premier.
Yeah. So, how did that transition? What was the transition like for you? How did you know that you should go into media? Was it, the Lord spoke to you in a dream, mommy, and all that? But how was the journey like?
Okay, I think the journey is just one that is planned by God. Let me just put it that way, because I never did something because I had a bigger picture in mind. I was just following my passion, what I wanted at that moment. So one thing led to another, to another, to another, to another. I got to UI 2005, and then I just wanted to be famous. I wanted to be popular. I wanted to be known in my faculty, to be known on campus. And then I started singing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Actually, while processing admission, I started rapping. So I was a rapper before I gained admission. You want to know my name then?
What was it?
Sky Dust.
Sky Dust.
Don't ask me what it means. And it's not S-O, it's X. X, Sky Dust. See, let's just move on. Sky Dust.
We'll come back. Maybe we'll come back to that.
Okay. So I just wanted to be famous, and I believe entertainment could do it for me. So I was rapping. On the level, I got to UI.
Were you good?
I think I don't know. I think I did well. Okay. I think I did well. When I set my heart to something, I think I can actually. Yeah. But my own rap is that kind of, my role models then were Snoop Dogg and PDD. You know, very cool, just talking and just flowing. No, don't go there. Back then, before the whole thing, so 100 level, I wanted to be famous. I didn't know what to do because I realized that for you to do music, you need money. That was back then. Music is not even what it is now. The money I was talking about there was studio session, at least to have a demo. You cannot call yourself a rapper. You want to attend shows and you don't have a demo. So you have to enter a studio, which I don't have the money for. So then I thought of other things and stand-up comedy came to mind. So from there, I just realized that I could do stand-up comedy. Then also I love radio. I just wanted to be on radio. Then I talked to someone who could get me on radio, and the person told me, I can't get you on radio because you are not a person of interest. The person said, had it been you are a comedian or a musician, then I could bring you on air to say, I want to interview you, but you are neither of the above. And I thought of the fact that, okay, I can't sing, but then I don't want to pursue music because of the money, whatever. But then comedy comes in handy for me. I can still try my hand in comedy. I've never done comedy before then, but I just felt like I could do something about it. And then I pursued comedy in 2006, and then I became a comedian because I wanted to get on radio.
Okay.
Yeah, but just want to feature on radio. I was an avid radio listener. I just want to be on radio, just want to talk on radio for whatever reason. So I wouldn't care if it is comedy, if it is music, I shall want to talk on radio. So I started comedy 2006, and then that was it. It was that comedy that now later eventually got me on radio. So I started off on radio as a guest comedian. And that was Madhouse on Splash. So we had it's a 2-hour show that was created for coppers, IT students, everybody come to. So we are like 20 something on that 2-hour show. So we have different segments. So myself, Bishop, and then later Tom Soloya, 3 comedians. They gave us 5-minute segment. Later it became 10-minute segment to do Laugh Line. It's the comedy segment, and that was the comedy segment I was doing till they stopped Laugh Line, Madhouse, and then I joined Smooth Drive with Black D. Then I had another segment, Laugh and Roll with Afuda on Smooth Drive with Black D. Very long name. And then did that for a while before that one to end. Before I ran away.
Okay.
I ran away because I was still an undergraduate. And then from UI to Mokola, where the station was, and it was a daily, I think twice weekly. I could not keep up. And besides, I was running out of material as a comedian because Black D just say, okay, we're now moving to Laugh and Roll with Afuda. It's a comedy segment. He just on the mic and he will just leave me in the studio and so I will start talking. I don't know how to play music. I just have to start talking. So all the jokes that I have, I will finish them. And I have to come back again on. So at the end of the day, at some point, I realized that I was running out of jokes. So I just have to run away. Apart from the running out of jokes, the money too was heavy on me going to the studio because I was not getting paid. So I just have to stay back. But luckily for me, started UI Radio, Diamond FM, and I volunteered. I was part of the, I think, second set of volunteers that were taking. And then that was when they now gave me my own 30 minutes comedy show, Stress Buster, Wednesdays, 5:30 to 6 p.m. on Diamond FM. And I did that from 2009 to 2011 when I had to go for law school. So I was off radio 2011, towards the end of 2011, that's November 2012. 2013, I was serving. I came back to Ibadan to serve. And then 2014, luckily for me, I was just rounding off my service here. And then Space FM came into being. And then someone just mentioned it to me. I went for auditioning. Before then, during my service here, I was a regular feature on Star MITV. On MITV, they had this breakfast show on Fridays. They had a comedy segment where I featured as a comedian. Then on after that, everything just coincided, and then I finished my service here, and then I started as a stringer. It's with Space FM still as a comedian. I joined them still as a comedian. My show, the Stress Buster, I resumed it as Stress Boa because then it has to be in pidgin. So I started Stress Boa on Space FM in 2014. And then it was from that Space FM where I really, really transitioned from being a comedian to a presenter. Yes, because after a while, I said, okay, you are a lawyer now. Yeah, because then I was done with law school, I was done with service. You're a lawyer now. We have this program, Sabuna, right? You should be able to anchor it. Yes, I should. But yeah, take this. After a while, this program is doing well. That was Strasbourg. We want to have a midweek edition. We started Crazy Institute of Comedy. After a while, I said, we want to have another one in the midnight. We had shut down 10 to 12 on Saturdays. Then after a while, I said, okay, you can do this. You should be able to read news in PG. I joined the newspaper team. Newspaper back then on Space was in 3 languages. We had English, Yoruba, and Pidgin. So I was the one holding down the Pidgin part of it on the newspaper review. After a while, I said, okay, want to mix certain things up. Or Ekojuma. Ekojuma is a political program, 5 a.m. till 6 or 7 a.m. I joined Ekojuma. So before I know it, I just had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 programs that I was anchoring. So I transitioned from being a comedian on radio to a full-blown presenter at Space FS. Then later, other programs came then. So, like I said, at every point in time, I never had the next thing in mind. What I had was what was in front of me. I want this, and I went for this. Then from that place, I realized that, okay, there's another step, there's another step. So I never really planned to be a media person until I just knew that I didn't want to study. I didn't want to practice law. Although fortunately, I'm still practicing law now, but not the usual way. I don't do litigation. Yeah, I don't do litigation, but I still do my corporate soliciting and all those stuff. I still do them, and I'm still doing my media, but I had to stop entertainment at some point.
So the point about you had to...
Yes, because I just realized that comedy was a means to an end for me.
Okay.
So at some point, I started losing interest, especially when the toxic, there are some toxic experiences you will have, and then just realize that, what am I even doing?
What was the point?
What was the point? See, I've gotten what I wanted. I wanted to get on radio, and now I'm on radio. And this toxic, whatever, I don't need it. The toxic energy, I don't need it. So 2016, I made it exactly 10 years. I just bowed out of comedy officially. And I wrote a book. That was when I wrote my first book, I Bow Out. So I Bow Out is all about my 10 years in comedy, my experiences, the people I met, and everything that happened. And then I logged out of comedy in 2016.
Okay. Let me even comment there. Because I've seen a lot of people pursue passion, and they keep on holding on to it because they feel like if they let it go, it's like they're losing themselves. You understand? So for what you're saying, from what I can infer from what you're saying is that, so it's okay to have a passion, and it's okay for that passion to die down, and you can pick up some other things. I believe passion sometimes is for a season. You have a particular passion for a particular season. Up till now, if I still do stuff on radio, and I love to sing, I still have many people coming to my DM and say, Guy Alpha, don't you think this music thing, don't you want to take it serious? Let us see. Gone are those days. I've done that before. Yes, I've done that before. So I don't think I want to go back into. But that music for me was a phase of my life. So that was a phase of my life. And after that, I just realized that at every point in life, there was a particular time I had the opportunity of speaking to some parents about their teens. And I was telling them that when your child is a teenager, you should make sure that at every point he's passionate about something. It's not necessarily, it's not compulsory that the child is going to turn out that or going to practice that eventually. But if your child wants to dance, at that point, encourage him, let him dance. Because that will keep him away from so many idle stuff, and that will keep his mind busy. We build so many things in him. So if your child wants to dance at that moment, that does not mean that the child will become a professional dancer. Let him dance. Let him express.
That at that moment. At some point, it will change. If it changes to another thing, encourage him and support him there. Don't say you don't even know what you want to do. No, because some of us are born that way. We cannot just stay somewhere for a long time. And then we transition from one thing to another. But the good thing is that at every point, you are picking up something. So it is okay for a passion to be there, very strong, and next thing you know, it's dead. Because you have outgrown it. You've picked whatever you want to pick from that, and you want to move to something else. So for now, who knows? I'm still under 40. Who tells you by that tomorrow I won't outgrow radio? And I'm already foreseeing it already. I don't want to become a legend on radio. No. I was telling someone recently, we were talking about national, whatever, diaspora, this Abike Dabiri. And the person was shocked when I said, Abike used to be a newscaster on NTA now. He said, I said, yes, now. That's the face of her life.
Didn't know she does this.
What's it called? Newsline.
Yeah.
Newsline Franco Lise before. She did it at some point. She was a fantastic newscaster, but that was the face of her life. I'm not sure she wants to go back there. No. But we have some people who became legend at news reading. People like Seristoba, and they are legends there. But for someone like her, it was a face. She did very well at that particular phase, and she moved. When she was done with that phase, I think that is the kind of person that I am. Because I remember that I had a lot of my senior colleagues called me back and said, guy, no, you can't say you are stepping away from comedy. You can just reduce your circulation, stylishly still do. Let's see. Me, I don't like romancing what I would not eat. I'm done with it. Let me move on to something else. So the day I will announce that I'm done with radio, I know that a lot of people will be shocked. They will say, guy, but there you are. You are good at this. Yes, I am good at it, but that does not mean I should die there because I'm good at it. Because at some point, you just realize that this thing is not giving me what I want at this moment again. At some point, that is what you want. Like I said, at the point in my life, all I wanted was fame. And by the time I started, performing in school, and I started getting the fame, at least in my church, in my school, in my class, in my faculty, I was famous. They know me as Afuda the comedian. And then I was doing my thing. I got it then. But once I get there, I just realized that, okay, so what's next? That's it. I've attained this. Let me move on to the next thing. Some people have argued that it's not a good thing. They said when you don't dwell on a sport for a long time, you don't get the best out of it. Yes, but for me, life is all about I conceived it and I executed it. That is it for me. That's it for me. Sometimes, for example, I've written 3 books.
Okay.
Apart from my very first book, that is, let me say commercially successful. Not commercially successful in other people's definition, but in my own, by my own definition, it was commercially successful because at least the money I gained from that first book was what got me my first car.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Ridiculous, what's it called now? Ridiculous amount if you ask me, but at least it got my first car. And I can say that the money I made from my first book was what got me my first car. I did, and I made. So the second book, I still have like over 500 copies in my office there, locked up there, that is not sold, that is not. But one thing is, for me, is once I have something heavy on my heart, I want to pour it out. But unfortunately for me, that's the point where I think I have issues. That once it steps out of my mind, I don't care about what happened to it again. I've written another book, Impactful Media, which I wrote last year. Last year is an e-copy actually. Maybe because it's e-copy. It will shock if I tell you that the e-copy, that book, I spent nothing less than 3 to 4 months writing that book. I spent like 3 to 4 months writing that book, and of course I used AI heavily, and I acknowledge that this book was, but it was a research work for me using AI and doing all. Up till now, I've released the e-version of the book. I've not sold 10 copies.
Wow.
I've not sold 10 copies. Despite the fact that it's a book I believe that every media practitioner should read, that I so much believe in the message it carries for Africa, media practitioners and all. But the problem, like I said, is that once I'm able to put it down and it leaves my system, I'm not bothered about who gets it. And people have said that is why I'm not financially successful. If my wife is watching this video and she says, see now, and it's not pride. It's not that I'm proud of it, because like I said, sincerely, I can't deny the fact that I know that it is financially, I know it's not a wise decision for me to make financially, because I have something that could make a fortune if it is well marketed. But I'm not gifted in marketing, and I'm yet to meet the right persons to partner with, that we understand, that we see it and partner. But I know that one day they will see it. But
you never know though. Someone could pick it up. It's just like creative work. A creative work that came out that came out like 10 years ago. You see that people are now using it like 10 years.
I like to tell her to share one illustration with her. There was a particular song of Davido, I think Gobe. A guy released that song, I think years before that time, before Davido released it. it was Gobe. And the song did not really blow. Nobody knew the song. But when Davido sang the song, there was all this controversy that, my son, and he called the guy and he said to the guy, I'm not sure that when the guy released the song, maybe he did not have 1,000 downloads. But at the end of the day, he was able to make something good out of it. Manu Dibango of Cameroon. The guy, what's it called now? I can't remember the song now. Mama say, Sima Kosa. That guy, the guy did the song. The song was fairly successful in Cameroon. Nobody heard of it until Michael Jackson stumbled on it and he took it up. And the guy was well compensated when he took the matter up. After that, Akon did the same thing. Rihanna did the same thing. So from that track, that was maybe not financially successful back then. Later, it became a very, very big deal for the guy. So for me, I just believe that once I have something in my mind that I just want to get it off my system, and I just want to express it. So if it is so that is why I've released an album. I have an album.
Music album.
Comedy album.
Oh, comedy album.
It's comedy and music actually. 4 tracks, comedy, 4 tracks, music, whatever. I have an album. I've published what's it called? I have published a magazine. I have published I have authored 3 books. I have anything that comes to my mind, my brother, I do it. And I've organized seminars, I've organized trainings, I've organized conference, anything that comes to my mind, I just do it. I've even shot a movie before. I have Humor Chamber. Humor Chamber is still on social media. We just did the pilot. It was meant to be a series.
Okay.
We just did the pilot. And then that was 2012, 2013. Over 12 years ago. We just did the pilot. It was beautiful. Everybody loved it. But I didn't get the necessary, what's it called now? The resources to push it. And now I'm getting close to it. Next year now, I may pick it up because I know that it is mine. And for you to know how fresh the idea is, up to now, nobody has been able to.
I watched a video of someone, just even before we even came up with it. And he started an idea years ago. And then he went for a training. He invited him for a training recently. And he trained on what he released years ago. And when he trained, after the seminar, a lot of people came to meet him. They were like, they were asking a lot of questions. So that prompted him to say, look, I want to start this thing again. I want to start. And a friend of mine was telling me something, because I'm also like you in a way, because anything that is, I just do it. So I've done a lot of things in the past. And I was like, at the point that I felt like, I failed in this thing because I couldn't continue. She said, no, you didn't fail. You've done it. You've done it.
Yeah.
That's a success on its own.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that benefited from it.
Yeah.
You know, and so I used to do this an evening with Deda then and UI. I did it for like a whole year. After that, I was like, I was not money to push it. So someone messaged me this year, and the guy came to serve in Ibadan then, and he came for the effect. He was not in Calabar. Message just out of the blue and said, are you still doing an evening with Deda? I said, no, that's not. He said, why? Then why did I stop? I said, people like you need support now. And I said I should continue, and he said, no, that I should continue and all that. By the way, go on YouTube. He's on YouTube now, so you can check it. And even if he's still on YouTube, some of the last episodes I did then and all that. So about, now linking it to a lot of Nigerians or youths that, now they have that issue that they can't define themselves because, and they call one big uncle will say MTNs, multi-talented Nigerians. They will pick one thing today. They will do trophy, pick another thing today. And all that. And now it's like they can't, what's it called? You can't box them because they are creatives and they have different expressions. Just like Sean Shobo, the owner of Voice of Academic, it would say, you are the talent. You now have different expressions. Don't confuse those expressions as the talent. And at every point in time, there are different expressions of who you are. How we want to express it is depending on time and season and all that. And I think it's an important message also to everyone out there that is, you are creative. You are just in the creative space. This one, like for me, people don't know, I've done stand-up comedy.
So you are a fellow
alumni. I've written, I still have a book that I've not published. I'll publish my book one day. What else have I? I've acted before. I've directed a short movie before, because I did a course back then in the cinematography and directing. I shot a movie I used to write stage plays. I used to act. But my journey started when it was acting that was the first thing. But right now, I did waka pass to the pond. You know, you do waka pass, you go to the set. You from morning to night, you waka, papa, pay the 3,000 naira. Just 3,000 naira. At least that was survey, daily 2K and everything. You know, I acted, I did. So, but if you tell me now, I say, come and act. I'm like, oh, I've done it. I'm not saying I can still go into it, but acting was a part of me. Then I was almost
back then it was a big thing.
It was a big thing for me.
But now it's called
a series. I created 2 series that aired in what's it called, African Magic and all that. I was like, Moriello TV. I was like, well, paid there, done that, all that, you know. So it's very important to also, because at the end of the day, I want to always look back and say I emptied myself.
Yes, that's the idea.
Myself.
And the beautiful thing, like you said, is this. One day I so much believe, that's one thing that I keep telling myself, that one day I will have the resources that I want at my disposal to pursue these things. And most of these projects, I will revisit them. But then I wouldn't know anybody might have stumbled on them or be doing something similar. So when I start that time, they won't say, hey, you are copying. I will say, no.
Go check, verify, go to documents about this thing.
Yes. There was a particular time we were doing People's Herald. People's Herald was a newspaper.
Yeah.
Free newspaper. I did like 2 or 3 editions. Free newspaper in Yoruba and English. And it was free and it was a beautiful, wonderful newspaper. In fact, I had some investors. Up to today, I still see them with those investors, and I, for my mind, they believe that's the end of it. But I know that they've invested in this, and by God's grace, their investments won't waste, because I know that I will come back to that. I still so much believe in that project that I will revisit it someday, and they will be glad that they ever invested on that project. So I just believe that most of those things, do them, document them, and just keep it there. You never can tell. 2 things can happen. It's either somebody else stumble on it and want to take advantage of it, and then that will at least come back to you as a form of compensation. Or one day, you yourself will have all it takes to, it could be a change of location. It could be an idea you've tried somewhere that did not work. For someone like you, like that, an evening with Deda, maybe few years from now, you may find yourself somewhere outside Nigeria or somewhere else in Nigeria, and just realize that this community needs something like this, and then it will be easier for you to bring it back because it's something you've done before, and then you now do it. It becomes something magical, and everyone's like, "How did you come up with this idea?" I don't get this idea. In fact, I don't do it before. No set, but the same thing, the same time, maybe just different location, maybe different timing, maybe different touch. We just blow it up, and we never can tell. Time and chance will happen to it, and then everybody will be like, wow, this guy is a genius. This guy is a genius. I've been a genius. So it's just
now let's shine the spotlight on the media industry and all that. And the question I want to ask is, so a lot of people in the media industry, especially in broadcasting and all, would say, some people will come and say, oh, this is my niche. You know, a lot of people say, I do entertainment. For example, I started as an entertainment because I came from the music industry. I was in the music industry for a while. Then I do current affairs. I do a lot. I think the only program I've not presented is sports. And the problem also, there's this other side of you trying to do it now. An average media house would recruit you and expect you to be able to do this, do that, do this, do that, do this, do that, and be not just. But also, there's a problem of you trying to define your niche and saying, look, this is what I want to be known for. But most times you see that now you go read news, now you go do this one, now you go do current affairs, you go do lifestyle program, you go do entertainment. And that's one of the main criteria whereby some media houses would want to recruit you and all that. So how do you balance it? You need job, you need to make money, and also try to define your niche.
You know, I run a media academy, and one of the things I tell our students is that the fact that you've been trained should mean that you can try your hands on anything, on everything. Because like my second book, Radioactive, one of my advices in the book is that for you to kick off a career, all you need is to get into the system. and anything can get into the system. So, for example, you want to be a newscaster, but then they need the role that was the vacant role at that point was for a reporter. My brother, my sister, if you are serious about getting a job in the media, apply for the post of a reporter. By the time you enter as a reporter, you will transition over time to what you eventually want to become. But at that point, you need to be able to do as many things as possible. That is what will get you in. That is what will get you in. And I liken it to when we're in school. You know, when we're in school, we had GES, and in fact, as a law student, I remember that we did something in anthropology, we did philosophy. So you borrow courses, you do a lot. But the higher you go, the easier it is for you to narrow it down. At least by the time you get to master's level, you can now say, I have my master, I have my PhD in, and then you start narrowing it down. So for media too, at the entry stage, you cannot successfully decide what you want to do, except maybe your dad owns the station and it's okay, I want you to do this. But if you are in the market like every other person and you want to succeed, I think you cannot dictate what you want to do at that point. You just have to find your levels. Let me use one of our guys in the industry as an example. Let me use Edmond Obilo. When Splash FM started, Edmond was doing shock therapy, Village Square, Bullseye, Sports Bank, I think Voices. He had like 4 different sports, inclusive, storytelling. I think Bullseye is like a documentary. He was doing all. But as time goes on, and it was getting bigger in the industry, he started dropping certain things. He dropped Sports Bank. He dropped Bullseye. He dropped Village Square. And then until he narrowed down into Voices. Voices is now his forte. That is what everybody knows. That's what gave him the big name that he has today. So what I'm saying is, as a newbie in the media, just try as much as possible to lay your hands on anything and everything. Besides, you never can tell which one will become the strongest and the biggest for you. I know that the very first program of Edmond that I listened to was Shock Therapy. Edmond was on Tuesday, Don'T was on Wednesday, I think. So eventually, after that, the Sports Bank. I think Voices came later. And his story was quite similar to mine. When I joined Space FM, like I said, I started with Strasbourg. From Strasbourg, Fabiona writes, Eko Juma, Newspaper Review, Shut Down, Crazy Suite of Comedy. Tori was the last program that was added to my program. That was like the 7th program. They were not looking at everybody, just scatter. But then I was hungry to be on air. In fact, if they asked me to be on air morning till night, I was ready to leave because it was fulfilling for me. And fortunately for me, it was that story that came later and now became the core of my brand. It was that Tori that got me out of space and got me to Lagelu. That same style of what I'm doing, which evolved from Tori to Naija Nawa, that got me to 32 FM where I am right now. So, for someone like me who had no blueprint, I was doing everything that was brought to my table, and eventually one of them became it for me. So for everyone many people have exactly what they have in mind, what they want in mind, but you cannot dictate at this particular point in your career. You cannot dictate at this point. So you just have to wake up and don't be true to yourself. You cannot dictate at this point. You cannot say, I don't want to read news. What if they need the newscaster? They need the newsreader. You are saying you don't want to read news, then get out. But I can read news. Then one day, you make friends with the person that is doing what's it called now? Entertainment program. And then the person will see the way you talk. Okay, let's talk about this on my show. You talk about it together on the show, and then the producer realizes that man, you flow very well. No, one day, you can start. Before you know it, you transition from what is necessary to what you actually want. So it's a phase, and I think people should understand that it is easier for you to dictate what you want when the higher you go, or the more you've stayed in the industry, it will be easier for you. But at the beginning stage, take whatever comes your way, just be able to manage it, and then find a way to cleverly maneuver yourself to where you eventually want to be.
That word cleverly
maneuver. Yes, so you have to be smart about it. Can't just say I want to be. No.
You have to be really smart about it.
Yes.
Yeah. So you talk. Primus Media Academy. You you've there's one aspect of media that people don't really talk about, which is the person that actually brokers the talent, the person that actually sees the talent first. And you've come across a lot of talent in the media industry and all that, and you've also recommended a lot of talents to different places and all. So how do you spot talent, especially in the media industry? Because I've come to realize, so I'm also in a position whereby if my radio station wants to recruit, that's Quest FM, I'm one of the major people that will say, oh, this person. And so people will come, like, I love radio. They will come and be like, But the passion is, I want to, I'm like, I think you need to not to discourage the person. You say, hey, go and train, train more, then come back and all that, And I know you face these things like every now and then. How do you spot talent and how do you get them? I know it's a wide topic. And how do you train them individually in your academia that makes them, okay, this person is best suited? It's a different ball game whereby this person has passion.
Yeah.
This person has passion and this person has talent. Like this person has talent and passion and all that. Those are easier to train. You see the ones that just have passion. How do you maneuver your way around it?
I like to be very, very sincere with them. So there are some basic questions I ask. The first question I always ask my students is, do you love money? So I asked them, do you love money? Said yes. Say, you want money? Said yes. I said, you are in the wrong place. You are in the wrong place. Because media will eventually pay you. Actually, media is paying now. In some areas, media is paying. But there are several other things that can give you money. There are several things. And I have this illustration I use. I say, if you are going to the market and there are several ways, like 3 different routes for you to for you to pass to the market. So the question is, why will you want to pass through the rough road that can damage your car and is longer? Because that is what media is for you. It can damage you, and if you damage your car, it is longer than the other. Why don't you think, if it is money you are looking for, there are several other ways you can make money faster and easier than media? See, but the only reason why I want to pass through a longer route, because which is bad, is because maybe I want to pick something on the road. Maybe there's something else for me on that road apart from the destination. For example, if I'm leaving this place now, I want to go to Challenge and there's a rough road, but my kids are somewhere with grandma along that route. I won't say because the road is rough, I won't pass. I will definitely pass through because there's something else for me that is equally as important as the eventual destination. I said that is the only reason why I should come to media. See, if it is money, forget it. But sometimes it's quite unfortunate that some people really want it, but they don't have it. They really want media. They are ready. They are passionate. They are everything, but it's just not that they don't have it. Sometimes it's very difficult to let them know. It's very difficult, but you just have to be sincere with them. Let them know that. But there are some that are very stubborn. You just leave them until they discover themselves, because recommendation is a very big thing. You are only permitted to recommend a wrong thing twice. After the first time you recommend it, they may give you the benefit of doubt for the second time. If you recommend rubbish the second time, they are not coming back to you. Say, this guy, last time. But if you recommend a good person for the first time and recommend someone the second time and the person messed up, they will still come back to you, because the effect of the first person will overshadow the mistake. Maybe that one don't get ahead. Let me still try. But by the time you recommend, what's it called now? $2. By the time you recommend 2 failures back to back, they won't come back to you. And then that's one of the things you sell as an academy. That's because students come because they know that this person can recommend us. We stand a chance of getting exposure from this platform. So when that goes, so I prefer to tell people that I don't have the specification you are looking for. Because when people call that, I need a Yoruba presenter that can do this, that can do that. I put the word out, assemble my students, look at them all through. If look at them thoroughly, this one, no, see, I don't get. It's better for me to say I don't have this particular specification than for me to now recommend something or someone that we go there and and go and spoil my reputation and that of the academy. But has it happened before? Several times. And will I still recommend again? Definitely I will do. But spotting them is, I think they are made. Okay. Sincerely. I think talents for radio, they are made. They are made. People have it naturally. You can only polish it. You can only polish it. Someone that does not have it, does not have it. There's nothing you can do. There was a particular student of mine that time, I tried to encourage, she wanted to do English presentation. I used myself as an example. I said, do you know that I'm a lawyer? I said, yes. Do you know I don't do English presentation? And I cannot call myself an English presenter. He said, why? I said, because my English is not what the English of an English presenter should be. I can communicate in English, but I cannot call myself an English presenter, because an English presenter should be an epitome of correct diction, pronunciation, which I am not. I'm a pidgin presenter. So I try to tell you that I'm educated. You know I'm educated, but still I'm doing pidgin, because some of them used to see pidgin Yoruba presenters as less educated. So I try to tell them, say, no, if you know what you are doing, this, and I use Yo as an example for them. I say Yo has been crowned best presenter in Nigeria severally, and he's a pidgin presenter. That does not make him inferior to Dotun. That does not make him inferior to IK or any other English presenter anywhere in the world. But he is doing pidgin. So find a language that suits you. But this particular person, we try to convince. He said, I want to do English. And me that most of the English presenter, my English is still better. My English is still better than his. Oh God, live English. Do some, speak Yoruba.
You know, that reminds me of Abraham Ogule, Ethiopia.
Okay.
So I remember when I was working at Fortress then, and Fortress Media, when it came, people don't know that it was English he wanted to do. But when I saw that the English, I was like, but boy, switch
Half English is fair, yes.
You know? And I told him and I advised him. Thank God he took the advice then and he started doing Yoruba, and that's what made him in that sense. And not that he can speak English,
yes,
fluently. Not everyone in the UK.
I tell people that if you want to present on radio, you must present in the language in which you think. Most of us, someone like me, I think in Yoruba.
Oh, that's the new one.
I think in Yoruba.
The language you think.
Because when you are talking on air, for you to be fully concentrated, for you to concentrate fully, you need 100% attention. But for someone like me that thinks in Yoruba, the interpretation process has taken a lot of my attention. That is why when I'm speaking English, before I say it out, I've said it on my mind. Say, and especially this happens to me, especially when I want to say, how has been your day? How has been your day? Been your day? Say, how is your day going? So all those moments of going back and forth in my mind is actually taken from my delivery on air. But if it is pidgin or Yoruba, as I'm just saying it the way it is coming to me naturally. So I'm not even. That is why you see most of those urban radio stations, they prefer people who have stayed abroad, or those young people, because those ones they think in English. And that is why most times, not all times, people have argued that they have the capacity of not having depth. If you present in the language in which you think, you need to be conscious if you want to have depth, because you just be saying things as it comes to your mind. But for someone, I can mention presenters who don't think in English, but they are one of the most fantastic presenters in the world. Eshen Wakimba cannot tell me he thinks in English. No, but he knows how to, in the process of how do I call it now? In the process of trying to balance everything, they reflect on what they want to say. It gives them that ability to reflect on what they want to say. A lot going on inside of them. A lot going on inside of them. Especially if you are also a sports person and you are asked to come and present politics, your delivery will be slower, but it could be much more impactful, because you know that this is not your natural forte. So you are thinking, a lot is going on inside you, a lot of reflection. But when you are you are trying to manage yourself, trying to caution yourself, but when you are free and you just the jabber, you just say what you're not supposed to say. So I try to make them understand that, see, it's beyond what you hear on radio. And I always ask them, mention the top presenters for you. And when they mention some of their top presenters, then that's not all of them speak the perfect English, kind of, but they have been able to carve a niche for themselves because of the content and the quality of the content that they bring on here. So it's not about just very good diction and without content. So I try to make them balance, and at the same time I have to them realize that, see, for you to be true to yourself, find the language that you are comfortable. That is the number one road to success in the media. Find a medium that you are comfortable with 100%. So by the time you now put your reflection and everything, it reduces your delivery by maybe by 20%. 80% it's still a pass mark. But by the time you are struggling with the language, you are struggling with the content, you are struggling going on. And by the time, one thing that happens is this: if you are talking, once you make a mistake and your mind can pick it that I've made a mistake, for the next few seconds you are thrown off balance. Even your chain of thought, your what's it called now, is at that moment is affected. You are trying to find your how do I bring this back? How do I correct it? A lot going on in our head. So as a presenter, you need to clear your head. Number one is find the place that is you are comfortable with. So I try to identify all these things and advise them. The best I can do is to advise. Some people will take it, and many people have taken it and they are glad that they hit the advice. And some people will feel like, no, I can still manage. But sincerely speaking, there has been some cases where I've been wrong. Where I would have told someone that I don't think say you go fit. Person says I want to. And person works on himself or herself, and person is able to pull out something and do something good. All good. But the issue I have with young talent these days is that anything that is difficult, they don't want to be involved.
They just want the easy way to go.
I tell my students, I say, if you can present politics, I can bet it with you that in 6 months I can get you a job. But trust me with that, if you assemble 200 people, I'm just saying 200, 190 want to do, 100 want to do entertainment, 90 wants to do relationship. Especially ladies, oh God. What do you want to do? Relationship. Taking one more part relationship.
Yeah, I want to add relationship. There's a guy that came to me recently, and so the guy relationship, and I'm like, even the way he did the audition, I was like, no. But in all honesty, I don't like. I give you benefit of the doubt, and all that, because I'm like, relationship. Because sometimes I realize that some people would. So I asked him, "Oh, why do you want to do relationship?" He said he just loves. I said, "Why? Why?" He said he listened to Dandy. Shout out to Dandy, and said, that. I said, "Are you sure it is relation or it is the person that is attracted?" You have to really clarify it, because a lot of people come and they will say they want to do entertainment and all that, and it's just that you just like listening to music. It's not like you really now. If they now give them so for example, when I used to do entertainment, and I didn't notice that I was giving something extra to the entertainment presentation I was doing, until the other musician called me one day, and he was comparing with another person. He called two of us and he said, listen to Deda very well. Deda would play a song, give the background details of the song, give context, and explain why he's playing the song, the gist. There's a way he arranges. I'm like, so I do that. I do that
because it's natural to you.
It's not. You get. But a lot of people just because entertainment is the main thing. Ask them this. But everybody wants to do entertainment. Everybody wants to present lifestyle. Everybody's an expert in relationship because you've had 5 heartbreaks. They've given you breakfast and all.
And that's why we are where we are. Where we are not where we know where. Because everybody's an expert. It's just unfortunate, but trust me, I believe if we can put the round pegs in round holes, yeah. I think the media industry will have a wonderful time. We have a very wonderful young people who are talented, and of course you still meet many people that wants to do radio, and you ask them who is your favorite presenter. I say, I don't listen to radio. What are you now doing here? what? So if everybody is like you, who will now be listening to you? You don't listen to radio. So why are you here? Why are you here? I think that maybe it's time for media practitioners to start telling people the truth. That see, forget all this name where you dey hear. Oh. Maybe some of them feel that there is some kind of money or whatever, the accolades that comes with it. So, but I think for now, I've been telling people, sincerely speaking, guy, do you want to do media? I say yes. Think of other things you can do in the media. I'm not trying to discourage people from broadcasting, but I just realized that after a few minutes of conversation with them, you realize that broadcasting is not what they want. Broadcasting is not what they want. Broadcasting cannot give them what they want. So they are just at the end of the day, they will be heartbroken, they will be disappointed, and because they won't get what they want, because it is not there in the first place. It's just misplaced, or let me say misrepresentation. So I don't mince words when I'm discouraging people. I'm serious. I don't mince words when I'm discouraging people. I use myself as an example. See, if you will do yourself a lot of good if you know where you are going if you have a background, if you have a destination in mind. For someone like me, like I said, I never had a destination. It's just coming per page. So I'm just flipping through the next page. I never had a big picture. And I started becoming conscious of the power and the influence I have on radio. That was around 2017. After I joined radio in 2008, that's like 9 years.
9 years
After, that was when I realized that these things should be used for more. It's just so painful because the height, let me say, the topmost height of my career, when I was the most popular phase of my career, was when I was at Space FM. 6:30 p.m. Tori every day. I can tell you that half of Ibadan is short because then how many radio stations do we have?
Yeah.
So things were different. Everything was different then. I just keep imagining that how I wish I knew then what I know now. What I could have done with the name and everything. But then I was just enjoying myself because I just feel like just do it, the other things will come. Just do it, the other things will come. Radio is not that place. They say I'll just do myself, I'll just be the best I can be, and then all other good things will come. See, there are so many other things that are dependent on whether you will succeed or not. So it's not just being good at your craft is not enough.
Yeah.
It's just like music. Musicians will tell you that forget it, if you like sing pass one deco. My brother, if you don't get the right push, gone are those days when Timaya will say I just sing Kinikon, they call me for Alaba. Nobody go call you for any. I was listening to one of his interview recently when he said you need at least $100,000 to promote a single track.
It's money.
So media might not be money to promote your craft, but you need a lot more. You need influence. You need to know people. You need a lot. You need to be on the streets if you want to make money from broadcasting. That's why everybody's running to every other things now, because other areas of media seem to be paying, and it is far easier. It is far easier. But you see, there is a pride and arrogance that comes with being on radio. You see other people as kind of inferior. Up till date, I don't know how many radio presenters can boast of having the kind of money that content creators have. But if you are in the midst of broadcasters, they will still tell you that those content guys, don't know what they are doing. Those guys are those boys. They are not professional. Go on air for a radio program, a presenter that knows what he's doing, that will not prepare, write script to do everything. With that script, do you know that you can create 2, 3, 4, 5 content for social media?
Yes.
But you can sit down and write content daily for your radio program, but your social media, you cannot even come up with a post. You cannot even come up with a post for your social media. You cannot even come up with a content that you see, because you feel that one is not, they are not professional. Go on air for a radio program, a presenter that knows what he's doing, that will not prepare, write script to do everything. With that script, do you know that you can create 2, 3, 4, 5 content for social media?
Yes.
But you can sit down and write content daily for your radio program, but your social media, you cannot even come up with a post. You cannot even come up with a post for your social media. You cannot even come up with a content that you see, because you feel that one is not, they are not professional, and you feel they are not professional, but they are getting results. And somebody say, what is the result? Is it money? My brother, don't worry. Nobody will tell you. you will get to a point in your career that you realize that money is a big part of the result. Money is a huge part of the result. Influence is good. Impact is good, my brother. I was telling someone, if you are not financially successful, even the people you inspire, they will not be able to point at you that that's my inspiration. Yes, now.
You're actually right.
If you are not financially successful at what you do, the people that you are the one inspiring them, you are their role model. They will not be proud to call you their role model. Because how can you say, for the first thing, for somebody that is living a wretched life, now say that's my role model. Your parents self will ask, show you anything angel of a role model. But no matter what you are doing, if you are financially successful at it, even people that you are not their role model, they will claim you.
Role modelship.
Yes, now. Whereas the people that you truly inspire, that are learning from you, they will not be proud to say that's my oga. So financial success cannot be taken away from this thing. And social media, like I said, has made it relatively easier. But it is not easier at the same time too. Because we not water down the hustle of those guys. I tell anybody that if you see anybody that is successful at content creation, that guy you need to salute the person, because it takes consistency. Consistency is the most difficult thing for a creative person.
That was time I tried. So I tried to do something different on my social media, Deda's coin, and I said, every day I'm going to record just one minute.
My brother, 1 minute is so difficult.
By the time I did 2 weeks, I was telling my wife, I said, when I came and stopped about it, she was like, no.
Oh, they stop.
You will not stop, because it wasn't easy. Every single day, I wasn't even editing it. It was on cut. So I just as it is. But to even find that I wasn't easy, but I did 100.
Then you win 100. Man, you have to be proud of yourself. I'm proud of you, my brother. Consistency is the main thing, and consistency, especially, see, the more creative you are, the more difficult it becomes for you to be consistent. Because by the time you do something for a month, 2 months, and you are not seeing the results you expect to see, your mind will say, what if I tweak it this way? What if I do it this way? And the moment you move away from that part, you just realize that by the time you put them side by side, they have nothing in common. You have goals as miles apart. You have gone. So when you see someone that is consistent, forget it. Even if the person is just saying, and the person is, I'm telling you, say, okay, thank God you said it's just a minute. Out of 24 hours, to squeeze out a minute, my brother, my sister, you can only do it for a while. But then the question is, we still wake up every day and we show up at our paid jobs every day, and we do these things.
And because you get paid for it.
But then, do you know that if only we can be consistent at our own things, what we are getting paid will be insignificant to what we will make for ourselves. But see, that discipline of consistency is enough to get someone as to be paying. So if you see someone that is consistent, just be paying that person for being consistent is more than enough, sincerely speaking. So if, like I said, I believe it is relatively easier now. But we have to share the toga of I'm a professional broadcaster. And we have to share, we have to embrace social media and be disciplined at it. Because let me quickly say this, and I'm not using this to shade anyone. I've been in the midst of senior media professionals. The ones that they point to as not professional, they are the ones that are financially successful. I will not want to mention names, but in this Ibadan where we are, there is a particular presenter, elderly man, successful as a presenter, but when you see the core professionals talk about this man, they will tell you that he's not professional. Exaggerate, hype, whereas they cash out from the hyping and the exaggeration and the everything. So am I saying it is the right thing? No, maybe it is not. But you see, we have to balance things. Professionalism is good. Professionalism is good. There's no way around it. Professionalism is good. But ọgbọ́n inú erin tí ò gbérin débi kan. Let me say that in Yoruba. Your professionalism, you are professional, but you cannot afford to live a decent life. I think you should reconsider, you should rethink. Am I supposed to be here? Am I doing this right?
I still mentioned it to you, but you remember when he released the video?
That video that
got him.
Oh God.
And a lot of people like, this is not professional.
This is not professional. I was on a platform where they said that station should be closed down. Because of what the guy did is unprofessional. It is. I'm not saying what he did is, but you see, we just have to understand that the world has changed.
Yeah, true.
The world has changed. The world has changed, and most of these things that we Shebi, we are here together when Oyinbo that said the world is made of 9 planets. Abi, what's it called now? They said they've discovered something more. They will come up with a theory, and another time they will tell you that it has changed.
There was a time they said the world was flat.
It was spherical. It's now kinetic. Don't be surprised that tomorrow morning we may wake up now and they tell you that the world does not even have a shape. That it takes different shape, and they will come out and they will prove it, and we will continue living like that. So why can't we just sometimes try to live outside the box? Try to live outside the box. My brother, I have a friend back then when I was doing stand-up comedy. He told me, he said, see, may they not put my name for poster. May they pay me. That time it's like, this guy don't know what he's talking about. We are talking about, your name has to be on poster. These are the things. I said, this point where I don't reach for this career, may they no put my name for poster. Just give me money. Any show where they go put my name for poster, I know what. The one where they go pay me. I was like, this guy don't know what to do. But now, with this radio thing, my brother, level that I am right now. So it's good to chase passion. It's good to chase passion. Chase your passion, but know that don't be stuck in it. If it has expired, come to terms to the fact that it has expired. Move on to other things. And if you need to move, so that it's just like water. If it's not floating, it will stink. If you need to float from one thing to another, you have to do. Okay. You just have to do. May God help us.
Hey, may God help us. Finally, you started the podcast series of Olga's Story. Yeah, and I also featured in it.
Yes.
I want to ask, what was the inspiration behind it, and what is the purpose of the Olga's Story, basically?
Okay, like I said, see, I'm still battling with my ideas don't come out fully formed. That is one thing that I've come to terms with about myself. In 2017, I clocked 30. So I had a particular campaign after that hunger initiative, and I was to talk about hunger because I've been hungry in my life. I've been hungry, and that was the kind of hunger that I felt as a student. I was adamant I didn't go home, and they did not send me money. Hunger beat me and everything. So I wanted to create awareness for that kind of hunger. And this particular hunger story that we are now doing was one of the things I wish I could do that time, where people will be sharing their hunger experiences. But then I did not have the resources. So we had the campaign, then it was successful. But we missed out that particular sharing of hunger stories. So that idea has never left my head. So recently, I just like, let's go back and pick from this particular idea. Let's come back with the hunger stories. And then the hunger story has led to another thing now. We've shared the hunger story. My own mind was, let's just share funny hunger experiences. But I just realized that all the videos you have posted, the one that has the highest traction is one that is very emotional and will make you shed tears.
Yeah, the one they sold this. Their mom sold their fan. There was one.
There's someone their fan for them to meet. There was a particular one that said is the way he was maltreated by his grandparents. That one is still there. It's still our most watched, and it's very, very emotional. And that has caused me now to say, okay, out of it now, another idea I've come up now. Say, okay, it's not about funny stories. It's just about stories. Some stories will be funny, some will be emotional. So we've been telling stories now. So from this month now, we are telling hunger stories. But by next month, we are moving to another story. And that's what we want to be doing. Everybody just come straight, direct from the horse's mouth. Come and share your own story. Because each story has its own lesson.
Yes,
each story has, whether the funny one, whether the emotional one, the sad one, whatever, it has its own, lessons. So that is what we are talking about now, stories. So just sharing stories from different people on different things.
So there's a lot to come from.
A lot to come from stories.
A lot to come from.
Yes, so.
All right. Oh, it's been a pleasure. I wish
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on DUNUM with Deda, and I'm sure that what's it called? Our audience have learned a lot
I
from
hope
it
so.
and all
I
that.
hope so.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
So
you
I've been
so
speaking
much.
with Afuda Baba, after Samuel, and yes, he has been sharing his perspective, his story with us. So watch
Thank
out for
you.
different expressions from Afuda.
Watch out too.
Yes, so watch out. That your YouTube channel is
Afuda Samuel.
Afuda Samuel. All right. So like this video, share this video. You don't know who you might be helping, and helping them do know their potential. My name is Deda Akiola. I'll catch you next time with another guest. Yeah, bye.
I believe passion sometimes is for a season. I don't want to become a legend on radio. No. The day I will announce that I'm done with radio, I know that a lot of people will be shocked. They will say, "Guy, you are good at this." Yes, I am good at it. I just believe that most of those things, do them, document them, and just keep it there. You never can tell. Two things can happen. It's either somebody else stumble on it and want to take advantage of it, and then that will at least come back to you as in form of compensation, or one day you yourself will have all it
Decide to
takes
pick it.
to, it could be a change of location.
But most times you see that now you go read news, now you go do this one, now you go do current affairs, you go do lifestyle program, you go do entertainment, and that's one of the main criteria whereby some media houses would want to recruit you as and all that. So how do you balance it? Okay,
I tell people that if you want to present on radio, you must present in the language in which you think. I don't know how many radio presenters can boast of having the kind of money that content creators have. But if you are in the midst of broadcasters, they will still tell you that those those guys don't know what they are doing. Those guys are those boys, they are not professional the way they handle things. After the professional, so the question is, why will you want to pass through the rough road that can damage your car and is longer? Because that is what media is for you. If it is money you are looking for, there are several other ways you can make money faster and easier than media. I've been in the midst of senior media professionals. The ones that they point to as not professional, they are the ones that are financially successful.